Hey, hello. Just woke up and I was like, oh, I should talk about my acne journey. As you can see right now, I don't have, I don't really have any active stuff going on. I don't have any makeup. I don't even have any skincare on. This is just like barefaced. And it's not perfect. There's like still hyperpigmentation around this area. Um, but it's just so much better than what it used to be, like even just a year ago. My skin is hella dry, very sensitive, um, and I mean, as a kid, I would sometimes have clear skin, but sometimes just have a lot of acne, just kind of like reoccurring here and there. And it got to the point where like some boy said he thought I had freckles. And I was like, oh my gosh, those aren't freckles. When I got into college, I would have like the occasional pimple. Um, it would not really bother me too much. And I still didn't have to think about skincare very much. But there's one year when my life just kind of like turned upside down. I was having a totally new group of friends, like just a totally new way of seeing life. And I was starting to get hormonal acne, and I didn't really know why. And it started off very innocuous, I guess, just like a little bit more acne than usual. But I thought, I could just like, you know, uh, cleanse more often, or like I don't know, just be more aware of it. Um, but it started getting to the point where I just kept having more and more, and my skin started to get kind of dehydrated too. Um, and like my pimples would just become like angry, like red. And I started having a bunch on the side of my face. It was all like, for me, it was mostly my cheeks. My cheeks would become like inflamed with stuff, and I was going through a lot of drama at that time too. So I don't think, and I don't think I ever thought that this was just like out of the blue, like random, like I was going through shit. Um, and I was feeling very insecure about myself. Like, I was transitioning from being a college student into like an adult living on my own, um, being in a new city, like all of these different things, and when I think back to my mindset at that time, I couldn't love myself. I didn't know how to love myself. That was like a very novel idea to me. And I became really concerned about my acne. I would like go up to the mirror and just be like, what do I have today? Like keeping track of all of the different spots that I had. And it became so exhausting to just keep track of these freaking like pimples, and it wouldn't get any better. So it started to take a toll on my mental health as well. And man, I just became I started to become very miserable, because not only was I encountering all of this drama, I was also feeling so ugly and so like I'm not enough. Like my face is just like, um, and I really cared about the way I looked at that time, and I was eating healthy. I was trying to be fit. I was, like, but then I would have this acne that wouldn't go away, and I would spend hundreds of dollars um, on like a bunch of beauty products that weren't really doing anything. But I was reading all these articles that said like vitamin C will help this and niacinamide will do that, and it's like none of these things are working. So at some point I realized that it was hormonal acne, and I was just like, well, what do I do about that? And my stubborn ass didn't want to go to a dermatologist, because I was like, no, I can still do this on my own. Um, and I mean, it just kind of went going. I kept having these theories in my head, these like hypotheses of, oh, my acne is probably caused by this, and I would try to test it out, and I would try to like for example, maybe I need to meditate more because it's about my stress levels. So I would try meditating for a couple weeks, see how it went, and it would fail, and then I would kind of be in denial, kind of not be in denial about it, and then just move on to some other hypothesis or something like that. Like sleep, you know, I would be like, oh, this is because of sleep. And I would be like, well, I'm getting like 8 hours of sleep a day. Like, I don't think I'm deficient in sleep. So I just feel sad even just thinking about this. Like, damn, I tried so hard, and in the end, it doesn't even matter. Well, okay, I have clear skin now, but I can see from a distance that, you know, those things, like, they weren't the problem, because I know what the problem is now. After that, I started to just kind of give up, honestly. You know, like, they would say, don't touch your face, but I knew that it didn't matter anymore. Like, everything I was doing didn't matter anymore, so I was just like, fuck it, like, I just need to feel my face, maybe I can do some gua sha. I don't know, like, I didn't care anymore. I was just like, fuck this. You know, I would just kill to have a clear face again. If I could just have a clear face again, I would be set for life, you know? Like, I started being in that bargaining phase, I guess. This was some sort of problem that seemed to have no solution, and it felt like I was just gonna be stuck there forever. It was fucking terrible. The pandemic of 2020 was starting to rage on, and, you know, I was starting to look for a job, and at some point I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to, like, use this time to really recharge, ask myself, what is life? I don't know, just really take some time off. And I thought, oh yes, my acne will go away at this point. But interestingly enough, it didn't. And I thought, this is weird, like, what's going on? I was like, you know what? I'm gonna really invest some more money into this. I actually have it on me. So this is the thing that I got. Oops. And I tried it out, and it seemed to have helped like a little bit, but not very much. It was a step. I don't think this would have completely healed it. Maybe for some other people it would have, but not me. Honestly, the real turning point was when I started applying for jobs again. But this went through, I mean, I had to go through like a pretty long process of like really asking myself, like, do I want to be just employable, or do I want to like really tap into what I can contribute to the world? And I'm kind of leaving out a lot of details here, but essentially, like, my acne started to go away when I was earnestly seeking a job again as a software engineer. Like, being like, yes, I am a software engineer. I am worthy of this pay and the salary, and fuck all the haters that were on the way to this path that I'm on, you know? I was like really tapping into self-love and self-care, not by way of like nice trips to the sauna or massages. Like, I had already tried that, you know? Not by buying myself nice skincare, not by like buying myself new clothes. Like, I had all of those things, but I was still like unhappy, not confident, and like breaking out like hell. The thing that really was that act of self-love for me that finally made my acne go away was, fuck all you haters, I'm still fucking awesome, I'm gonna get the job that I want to get, and like, no, I'm not going to succumb to these obstacles that I had to face. I'm fucking surmounting them, and I'm getting out of here. So then I started applying to jobs, and my acne seriously began to subside, like from 10 to like 2. The breakouts were like, I was getting maybe like 1 per 2 weeks or something, as opposed to like 2 per 3 days or 2 per week. My skin was like really dry, but I was noticing that like that my skin was plumping up again. It was becoming like less dry and less irritated as a whole. It was almost like the irritation in my skin was like mirroring the sensitivity of myself, like my personality. Like I was becoming less sensitive to life. I was becoming more resilient, and my skin was kind of like a reflection of that. So, and then like now it's like 2021, it's January, um, and my skin has just become so much better, so much more stable, and I have a job now, which is fucking great. A job that I actually really loved. Saying things to myself oh, you can never get that job, like that isn't just meant for you. Saying those things to myself, you know, I couldn't have gotten the job that I have now. And that also happened to be the key to my acne. Um, so yeah, that is my story. Uh, and you know, if you listen to all of that, thank you. Now I'm going to talk about like the implications, the the lessons learned, at least for me, you know. I do realize that everybody requires different things for them to feel comfortable in their own skin, literally and figuratively. So, like, for me, you know, there were no facials, no moisturizers, no like massages, like none of that was working for me. What worked for me was looking at the things that I was putting up with, looking at the things that made me feel like I deserve to be in this lower vibrational like level. Looking at these things that were like that I just kept giving my energy to and not focusing on me. So for me, that was like, you know, boyfriends that didn't treat me right, or workplaces or workspaces that made me feel like I had just had to shrink myself smaller just so I can survive or whatever. And I said no, like, no, I don't deserve that anymore. I'm getting a plan out of here because I know I deserve better. Um, that's what did it for me. Because this is like a hormonal issue, right? This is about um, like what my body is communicating to itself. So I figure like, you know, this has to do something with how I'm dealing with life. And there was a YouTube video about this woman who said that like, you know, it's a sort of reflection, I guess, of what's going on inside of you. And I agree with that, but it's still a little bit amorphous, right? Like okay, what do I think about now? How do I fix that? And for me, I think it has to do with, I think the body, the skin is attacking itself. Like, you know, you're not worthy, you're not great. And to kind of just stand up and be like, fuck you, I'm not going to listen to you. I think that's what worked for me. And it's free. So that's great. But anyway, my camera is like dying. I have to go. But thank you for listening. If you found this useful at all, please let me know in the comments below. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And yeah, I would love to hear your stories. So bye.